Hi guys, we are back again in our lesson 6. Eu sou a professora Simone e hoje nós vamos falar sobre working with the students. So it's going to be the first time you are going to work with the students. Como é que a gente faz isso, okay? So, let's go over here and let's remember our lesson context. Academic and professional life, okay? Putting academic knowledge into practice, the art of monitoring. That's it. What you're going to do is interacting and start the monitoring process with your students. So, and for that, let's remember our journey. So many accomplishments. Yes, okay? So after a job interview, you were hired as a science assistant teacher. Remember that? Got to know the school you were teaching. You commented and made suggestions about a lesson you observed, and you started planning lessons. So, if you started planning lessons, you are ready for the next step. Você está pronto para o próximo passo. E quais serão esses próximos passos? Let's go through our learning objectives. In this class, you will be introduced to monitoring concepts and techniques to engage students. Use previous language knowledge to monitor students in class and homework. Monitoring vai ser a palavra-chave da nossa aula, ok? E nós vamos trabalhar com técnicas para to engage, para engajar os nossos alunos, ok? And then after that, de novo, you are going to use the previous knowledge of language. Por quê? Tudo que nós vamos mostrar para você, em termos de estrutura, você já conhece. É só ampliar, all right? And then here, what we have. What is the challenge of our class? Qual é o nosso grande desafio de hoje? Our challenge is create your own strategy for monitoring students in class. Ou seja, você vai criar a sua própria estratégia para monitorar o seu aluno. It's really amazing and it's fantastic. You're going to enjoy a lot. Tenho certeza que você vai adorar, ok? So, are you ready to monitor your students? Yes, I'm totally sure. Mas não será comigo que você vai falar sobre monitoring. Você vai falar sobre monitoring com as nossas duas convidadas super especiais, a professora Márcia e a professora Katherine. So, Márcia and Katherine, thank you so much again for coming. So, now it's all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Simone, and thank you for having me here again. Thank you, Kate.
Thanks, Márcia. Thank you, Simone. It's a great pleasure to be here again. Wow.
Okay, so the first part of our lesson is going to be pronunciation again. Why? Because you realize you're going to have to interact with your students, with your teacher, and it's important to sound a bit more fluent. And then again, I brought you a tip on how to do it, right? To speak more fluently and naturally, we simplify some sounds in connected speech. How do we do that? We do that by eliding some sounds, putting them together. Let's see how it works. Elision takes place when a sound that would be present in a word spoken in isolation is omitted in connected speech. So for instance, I don't say next, please. I say next, please. See? It's easier. We do the same in Portuguese. What do? A gente não fala para você, a gente fala pra você, não fala? Então o som do para, que estaria lá, não tá. É a mesma coisa em inglês. Next, please, right? Let's see some other examples. It's not so difficult because what happens is it's mainly the T and the D that disappear, right? So let's see. I don't know becomes I don't know, right? The T is out. Stand there, you just worry about the there. Remember the TH that we taught you before? Stand there. It's easier than saying stand there, okay? So, whenever you speak, it's not speaking wrongly. It is eliding sounds and making it easier, okay? So now I'll give you over to Kate.
Okay, so today we're going to start our class by watching another video. So I want you to look at this classroom. So there's a teacher, few students, and I would like you to observe and see what are the teachers of Hillside Elementary School doing. Let's see.
Start working on something while I take attendance, and then we'll be able to help you.
What about your business letter?
I did that in class.
Okay, and your social studies sheet, was that done in class?
Yeah.
Go ahead and put your name on, make sure your name's on both. So you do that, and then we'll get back to you. Yes.
What's this? Your mug shots?
We just got that yesterday, so.
Right, you do Monday, Tuesday, right?
And then tomorrow, I think tonight I'm gonna do, but when I get home, because my mom, I
She
don't know.
likes to read them too.
Yeah.
I like to read them. In the 1800s, it was common for people to take baths only once a week. I only take baths once a week.
Yeah. That's because, that's back in the 1800s.
Yeah, I see that. All right, mug shots is done. Very good.
Well, you were observing a classroom, you were observing teachers. So what were they doing? They were monitoring. And do you know what monitoring is? No? Let's see. Monitoring is a classroom management technique that aims to assess students' performance and skills development by engaging them in a whole process. And in other words, Márcia, what is it? When and why do we monitor?
Oh, okay, so we do it all the time, Katherine. Because monitor takes place in every activity you propose in class. How do you do that? By walking around the classroom, assessing both individuals and the whole class, see how this dynamic is going on, asking questions to check students' understanding of the content being taught, listening to errors and motivating self-correction, taking opportunities to micro-teach, assigning, collecting, and correcting homework. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of work, huh?
A lot of work, but fun work too.
Okay. So how do we engage students? How do we engage students in monitoring? Well, we have to say that monitoring is the teacher action, okay? So we're going around the classroom like we saw in the video, check homework. So we use different techniques to engage students in reflective thinking on how they learn. So we can use many things, okay? You can use quizzes, we can use charts to see what they know, what they want to know, what they have to learn. We can use hand signals or four corners, so every corner in the class you have an objective. And reflection journals, something that the students have to write after a lesson, they have to reflect on what they've learned. What else?
Let's see. Oh, there are interactive techniques too. So what are they? They could be sticky bar charts, like the one you see in the picture, where students describe the levels of understanding, progress or mastery by writing their names on a sticky note and placing them on the appropriate chart space. Kate, I think it's similar to what we do with you guys, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. In lesson 7, we normally have the self-assessment, and it works more or less the same. So in this chart here, we could have the can-dos. I can do this, I can do that, I can read, I can write. And then you place a sticky note to see. So if you put here, 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 right. Okay, I can do it. Or, well, I can do this, but I cannot do the rest. So I can assess what I know and what I need to learn, what I need to improve, right? Okay.
Então, bem parecido com as estrelinhas que vocês completam na nossa pesquisa na aula 7, não é mesmo?
All right.
Okay, so, there are other interactive techniques. Kate, what do you know about this one?
Yeah, this is called colored cups. Students identify their understanding or readiness for content application using colored cups. So instead of using stars, because this we do individually, here they're working in a different way. We have different color cups, and then the green one represents I'm rocking. I could teach, I know everything, and I could teach my friends. The blue one is I'm feeling good about this, but I have a couple of questions. It's a little hard. I still have problems. Yellow, attention. I've got the basic stuff, but I still need to learn, to check, because I still have problems. And red, wow, wait. I can barely get. Tá difícil. Tô quase lá. I'm lost, I need help. Well, so let's see how the teacher is going to work with these colored cups, how students are going to work with colored cups, and see if you can apply this in your class too.
Hi, this is another in our video series of things you can use in your classroom. This is about monitoring student learning. So we're going to take a look at Gary Umloff in a math classroom, and what he uses is a series of colored cups where kids can come in and self-identify where they are. You're going to see him do it with a homework assignment as they're coming in. This is kind of his bell work, so he has an idea where he needs to go for the day. He does it as well with proofs throughout the day when they do some practice. And then throughout conversation, the kids can switch if they don't understand what's happening with new material. So we're going to check out Gary, his room, and his kids and how they use cups to monitor and as well as demonstrate their own understanding within a lesson. So enjoy this video, math, and cups.
Well, did you like the video? Did you see students putting different cups on their tables? Well, that represents what we talked before. Did you like it? Try using it. Well, so how do we do the assessment? So checking students' understanding, classroom assessment techniques. So we start by assessing previous knowledge. What students have learned, what they know, what we assume they know. So some examples are, let's imagine that we're going to present, the lesson is about animals, and we have some wild animals, but we don't know if students know. Então você não sabe se o aluno sabe sobre aquele assunto de animais selvagens. So you ask, have you ever seen a cheetah? What do you know about the big cats? Então você vai fazer perguntas que vão levar, né, vão te conduzir a ver se o aluno sabe daquele determinado assunto. Well, pre or misconception examples. Do you think most people would consider this? Well, you cannot state, this is it, this is that. You want your student to think about it. He will draw conclusions. So you say, I'm not sure about it. Can you give a different example? So then your student will think about lots of possibilities, okay?
Okay, oh, I like it. Okay, so the next thing you have to do is to verify content. For instance, you want to know if your students got what you taught them so far. So you say, what was the most important thing you learned today? What questions remain unanswered for you? And what did you like the most? Why do you do that? You do that because it's a guide for your next lesson. Then you can measure, you can gauge what students know, what students don't know. Você consegue medir o que eles conseguiram aprender, da onde você vai começar, o que você vai falar na aula seguinte, o que eles gostaram e o que você talvez possa melhorar, okay? Then you're going to document problems. Let's imagine that here you identified some problems. You're going to document them, okay? So how are you going to do that? You're going to ask your students, how did you solve this problem? Oh, you said to me that you didn't like it very much, that you didn't understand it. How did you solve it? Can you describe the steps you followed? Okay, so when you document things, it's easier for you to plan a better lesson for next time, right?
Yeah. So we go back to planning feedback. Remember, you're interacting with the students, and then you have to talk to them. You have asked us questions about, why did you do that? Have you seen that? Do you know about big cats? Or can you describe the steps you followed? Well, you have to say something after that. Your student is going to give an answer, and you have to say something. Remember, in your previous class, we talked about feedback. So you can address good points and areas to improve. You can emphasize achievements, and you can ask questions that lead to expected outcomes. You want your student to think. You're not going to give the answer. No, no. Well, but there are lots of things to think about when you're giving feedback. For example, how am I going to respond to that? Can I put my opinion? Should I give an advice? What is the result? How can I rate that? Is it excellent or so a little bit? How am I going to rate that? That's difficult. So how do we plan feedback?
Okay, there is a great way for planning feedback, Kate. And the way is called the ladder of feedback. So the steps are clarify, value, state concerns, and suggest. And now Kate is going to talk about every step with you, okay?
So, in fact, we're going to use everything that we explained before, and we're going to put in the ladder. So, clarifying, ask questions to help a student understand fully. So before we said, what did you do? Can you give me more examples about it? How did you solve this problem? Because you want to know how he got that answer, or he got that result. You want to know the root. So you can say, for example, when you say cheetah, what do you mean? Do you understand it? You want to know if your student knows it's a big cat, it's not a small cat, domestic pet, okay? The next step is value. Say something kind about what you have seen or heard. Remember, you have to address good points. So you can say, awesome, what a great idea, or great point, I never thought about it. Show that your student is bringing something valuable to your class, that he's showing something important. State concerns. I wonder if that part is when you are not sure, you don't want to use pre or misconceptions, so then you tell your student, it seems that your idea is not so convincing, so why don't you try something different, okay? Or I wonder if there was a different view for that. And suggest. We can suggest things. We're not giving the answer. We are suggesting things. The decision will be made. The student will decide what he wants to do. So what if, maybe you could, for example, what if you try to explain in a different way? Maybe you could show models. Maybe you could draw something. Right?
Okay, perfect, Kate. So, guys, this ladder of feedback brings us to the end of our lesson. So thank you very much for sticking with us again. Thank you, Katherine.
Thank you, Márcia. Thanks, everyone here.
Márcia and Katherine, thank you so much for coming. It's wonderful to have you here. How about you guys? Did you enjoy our lesson? Okay, so come here with me. So let's wrap up. Okay, in this class, you were introduced to monitoring concepts and technique to engage students. Use previous knowledge to monitor students in class and homework. Did you like it? What do you think of our strategies? What do you think of monitoring? So, in our opinion, monitoring is the key to learning, okay? So, thank you so much for being here with us. I hope you have enjoyed our class and see you pretty soon in our last lesson. Bye-bye.